Hello viewers and welcome back to Factorio. I apologize if in the last 2 or 3 videos if the HUD was a little big or the graphics were a little muddy, and this is because this game runs in windowed mode and sometimes I don't maximize the window. Apparently it still records 1080p footage, but it's just slightly different. So anyhow, we're back. I set up a little research facility in the meantime. We unlocked assembly machines level 2, where the tier 2 ones, which produce things a little bit faster, and they also produce select goods which assembly machines 1 cannot, like for example these ones. Some of them they can't produce certain things, which is really rather odd. Some of them they can't produce things such as like, yeah, steam engines and stuff over there, but these ones can apparently. So with that sort of said, yeah, we have another chain going on here, and I made a little research depot, which is really just another one of these little airport terminal, you know, baggage trains. You put in copper plates and wooden chests into these 2 conveyor belts, and it puts them down in a nice little pattern in which the machines here, down here then, just sort of use. I'm actually going to clear this belt right now, and these ones make these little science pack ones, which are currently being consumed to give us a bullet damage upgrade over here. In the meantime, I think we researched another level in military goods. As you might imagine, I mean, I did get those machines to start to produce, what do you call it, I'm gonna sort things out here, to produce these turrets, and these turrets are doing a wonderful job in keeping away little baddies, which I see a wave of right now. And these biters, they're gonna try to bite us. They're gonna, yeah, they're pretty much melee units, and as you saw there, the turrets are really rather effective, and along with our guns, of course. And we also have this little depot for, I'm not really sure if I showed you guys this, but it's a conveyor belt system, and it's a modular little system over here, and the point of it is to really just output bullets for us to use. So, I mean, that is all going fairly nicely. It looks like our, yeah, those bugs managed to attack our production lines over here, which were producing ore for us to use, and for whatever reason they managed to nick enough of these things to actually stop the production of, or rather slow down our production of iron plates. And it looks like we have some excess capacity. I see a lot of these stone furnaces over here being unmanned. So we'll have to sort that issue out too. It looks like these things are still receiving full power. So it's not an issue of electricity, but evidently something has nicked our production values. I think originally we were producing 400 and some iron plates a minute. Now it's only 300 some, so that is rather unfortunate. Or maybe it's just because we're starting to run out of iron ore over there, which is another possibility. And it looks like there's a little blurb inside the forest over here. Yeah, it's over here somewhere. I'm just sort of reading the text, that little info panel. It looks like there's a small patch right there. But I don't think it's worth getting at. So anyhow, I mean, the game really just goes on from there. We're starting to produce a lot more of those science packs, so that is something that's rather nice. And those science packs, I mean, they take a long ass time to do, so it's nice that we have the system to just pretty much do it for us. Currently, we actually, these little dome buildings are using them at a speed that for some reason these ones over here don't seem to be, that's why. I was gonna say these buildings over here don't seem to be producing them for whatever reason. And apparently for these science packs, these buildings, they can only make stacks of 3 of them. So it was eventually an issue down here where these buildings, they just couldn't do anything. Anyhow, that area is just sort of that area. It's doing its own thing, and in the meantime I am just accumulating a ton of resources. Going to have to get these burner lines started back up, so I think I'll do that. And as you can see, I'm having a little bit of issues right now just keeping track of all my goods. So yeah, we're getting just a ton of goods set up. I'll actually make a little resource bank here. I'll make a fun area, make a little fun area for us to mess around with. Just, oh my god. Yes. I wonder if this will work. So, I mean, if I put things inside here, Oh, yes. It's a system that moves plates between themselves. It's completely useless in every single way, but it looks cool. So yeah, I guess I have a way of storing items now, but I'm just gonna let that run, and in the meantime I want to fuel up these areas with coal. And apart from that, I mean, yeah, pretty much things have been good, production has been good, and we're ready to expand on to facilities that make some other good things for us, namely a place that would make some inserter little hand things for us, because those things we need a lot of and we just don't seem to have enough of. I'm also carrying an enormous amount of ammunition, and this is because I was originally going to pluck down a few more turrets, but we really don't have that many things to protect right now. I think what I'll do is that I'll come over here and I'll just fill these things to the brim with ammunition like that. Yeah, bullet damage is finished, so I'm gonna find another tech, bullet shooting speed, which we can do with just tier 1 materials, and we'll just let that build. I think I'll have 2 more guns down here with 50 ammunition clips each, so they'll just sort of buzz down whatever they can see over there, assuming that any targets show up. And this will really just create a little safety net for us, so that in the event anything really attacks us, these guns should just be able to buzz them down. And I think we've already seen them do it at a pretty fast rate, so I mean that's good. And again up here too at the coal mining facility, which I assume is going to run out of coal sometime in the future, so I'll actually top them up. And this area is actually fairly vulnerable too, so this will be a good area to set up a few gun arrays. Yeah, so that'll keep all of our production facilities nicely locked down and pretty much safed up, so long as we have the ammunition, of course. So yeah, these facilities should just really run themselves for the meantime. And now we can build a facility to produce inserter ones. Oh, evidently we're being attacked right now up there. The turrets have, well, I mean, the turrets have evidently already finished them off here. I see a few carcasses right here, and it looks like, yeah, they got attacked slightly. They were nicked slightly. And, oh, I see. Production speeds for copper plates where iron plates has increased, so that's good. It's starting to get back onto our previous level. So anyhow, going from here, I want to build a facility that does produce those inserter hands, and then I can produce a facility that makes science pack 2s. So let's get that done, and I think this area down here will be that area. So inserters are another thing that we need a lot of. And I have a feeling that the best way to do this would be just to make a little chain of these things here. Because we don't need, like, I mean, we don't need a terribly large lot of inserters, but it'd be really rather handy if we had a good amount of them. And these are pretty much just insert output cycles, so this will be a fairly basic area. It'll just be this area. I want to say that I want to make this area a modular area, but we'll just really see how it goes, because to be frank, I'm not sure. Yeah, because I want to have one wraparound system like this, and of course for these things, these electric circuits, what I can do is that I can just sort of add a slight nick in the production lines here, so that we have a inserter hand, a long inserter hand, that should be able to pick them up and drop them down like that. And I'm gonna guess that we need a good amount of them. Like, so we're gonna have 3 of these. And once we supply power to them, get rid of all of that. Oh, we're missing a bit here. This should be able to, yeah, this should be able to stack this line filled with those little green circuits. So with that, it's done. We're gonna have another chain that sort of just goes back here. It's not terribly efficient, but I mean, it gets the job done, and it starts. It'll allow us to start using these circuits for a greater purpose. and that is of course producing our own little things here. Now, for whatever reason, did I not put that is really weird. Looks like I forgot to put down like the hands that takes out material from here or something. I don't really know what's up with that, but oh well. Yeah, that's pretty much that. That's kind of weird, but alright. So, now systems should be doing their own thing now. Yeah, we're starting to craft these things. And it looks like we're starting to run some issues with this copper wire line bugging down. So I want to improve this area slightly. What I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to get these copper wires to feed into one of these cyclical things. And I wanted to... Yeah, we're starting to have some feed problems over here where it's starting to feed too much into this area, but not enough in other ones. So I want to get this solved first, because what I'm seeing is that a lot of the production lines over here, the amount of copper wire going on this line, it fills up one section of this conveyor belt, but it does it in a fashion that it stalls up the line, and once that happens, it doesn't seem to be able to produce enough, it doesn't have enough room to supply all of the manufacturers in the back, which is one problem. I'm just gonna get this system to research, say, bullet shooting speed 2, which is one big problem. So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to have a system that inserts it over here, farther along the conveyor belt, because it looks like this is the area where, like, yeah, you'll see here that all the little strips of wire that come down only reach here before they're pretty much fully used up, but that is granted that the fact that we've removed a ton of them from the line over here. So this little splitter will help our production line run a little bit more efficiently, which means that we'll have a lot more of these circuits lying around. And this will be a place that uses inserter hands to make circuit hands, I suppose. And yeah, we'll just get this entire belt set up so that it produces these. Now going from here, I'm trying to figure out what would be the best way to use these materials over here now. Because yeah, this line will be able to produce those goods in just a little bit. So yeah, it should be able to produce those inserter hands in just a little bit, but we need to add iron gear wheels and iron plates. To me, the best way to do that would probably be to build a little smart inserter hand facility over here. And what this will do is that it'll only grab the little gear wheels over there, and it'll just sort of move them to other places. So that is one thing that we can do. It's not terribly efficient, but I mean it works. So if these things work properly, they should be able to just sort of pull these, oh, that's right, we didn't give them an order. They should be able to just pull off one particular good. They can pull up to 5 different goods off this line. And, well, actually, that works for us, because all we need them to do is to pull off 2 resources, which is iron plates and these things. So it'll do that to the best of its ability off of this line right here, where it's already pre-made. And I suppose as it takes what I can do actually is that I can have one doing pretty much exclusively one doing each object, so then it puts it into 2 nice little groups for us to use, which it would be really, really good. And what I think I'll do here is that I'll make this area slightly more crowded, just because I think it'll be a lot better this way. So that this way we can have even amounts of each thing being down on this line. And seeing as how I do believe to make those inserters, yeah, you only need 1 of each. So this area, once it's powered up, it'll just do that. It'll put it on one conveyor belt line. I wanted to put it into even portions. I want these things to use both of the lines equally. So it'll do a little spindle like this. And then it should just be able to export those goods like that. Ah, there we go. Starting to work. And it looks like these turrets are, yeah, 2 turrets are apparently engaging the enemy up here. And whenever we get to them, they're always, they've always finished the combat. So, I mean, they're pretty effective. And with this line, all I really want to do with it is get it to tunnel around, and down till it pretty much ends up and goes into this line right here. So as soon as those goods actually flow down here, they will start to pretty much produce inserters for us now. Had to turn on the light here for a second. Yeah, so the little system here should be pretty much just complete. And now, as soon as I reset it by clearing everything on the line, this line should be able to produce inserters for us. And with these inserters, we have a wide variety of different purposes for them. But though the main thing I think it'll be just producing science packs with them is the main thing. So I wouldn't imagine that too many inserter hands are actually produced. Well, actually, we could put a blue hand here, the fast picker upper, and yeah, this area will just really get on going pretty much. It'll just sort of shift its required goods in here, and as soon as the goods get nicely intermingled, I suppose it'll do it a little bit faster. But yeah, that is pretty much that. Let's see what is going on here. Yeah, it looks like all of the production lines are running. It's decent. It's running at a decent speed. Oh, I see. We can actually improve this area a little bit. We don't need these red line ones, seeing as how we want to get these little plates onto this belt as fast as possible. I'm trying to figure out what is a good way to make a little spindle area over here. But what I think I'll do is that I'll just make it so that this area, it's God, I'm really liking these tunnel feature, the tunnels that I can build. But it'll just go around like this, and then it's going to take up a little bit more space. But what it'll do is that it'll just run through a series of tunnels once it gets to this part. So it'll go out, it'll go in, and over here it'll go in, and it'll come back out. So yeah, it'll make it a little loop like that, which will allow us to, again, I'm gonna have to reset this belt one more time, but this will allow goods to just really get up over here really fast. It'll start to put down, I believe, the full amount of these little electric circuits, and they'll just pretty much all be used in the production of inserters now. Or at least a vast majority of them. We're already building up a good stack of them, so that is pretty much that. And again, just more goods being built, more things really just going our way, I suppose. And yeah, that makes another little production chain. I'm gonna let that do its own thing for a little bit, just sort of check up on the other things. It looks like we have a pretty decent cycle going on now. All we really have to do is just come in here, occasionally check up on the amount of ammunition that we're making, and some of the stuff revolving around, you know, these little transport belts, perhaps fill up the labs, fill up the copper, or the little refineries with, or the smelting things with a little bit more resources. But apart from that, everything is just sort of doing its own thing. Alright, well, that area is, yeah, this area is set up too, which is really rather nice. I could actually use a few more of those blue science packs, so I think we'll get them to start producing those. I'll actually just collect them right now, because these things can only store 3 of them for whatever reason. So yeah, this system is, it's going to produce those. inserters, and it's doing a fair amount of it. It looks like we have a little bit of inefficiency in that